I bid you shalom and happy Sabbath. Tibet 15th, 6007. It's the Sabbath of the full moon of the 10th biblical month, Tibet 6007. I mistakenly deleted the Sabbath message that I have had for us. I had it on YouTube and I deleted it accidentally. And so we won't see the full moon we won't see the full moon because it is deleted. But it is the Sabbath of the full moon. And I just want us all to know that it is YAH's Sabbath, and that YAH's Sabbath is determined by the new moon. Scripture tells us that all things work together for good to those who trust Yahuwah. But tonight is YAH's Sabbath, and I have been concerned about what this society have been doing to YAH's chosen people who are Israelites. We noted that Black people who are descendants of slaves do not even know that they are Hebrews, because they have been taken here. Well, the Europeans have invaded their land which Yahuwah had given them. Because Israel had forsaken Yah's laws, rebelled against his commandments, and went into idolatry. And so Yah allowed them to come here, our ancestors to come here, and we were enslaved and brutally raped, torn by dogs, killed, and all manner of atrocities had happened to us because our ancestors have transgressed and rebelled against Yah's laws. This evening, I had already pointed out how those who stand up for truth and righteousness have always been persecuted by the Herods and the pharaohs of this earth, this system. Earlier on in my video, which I am so, I don't want to be distressed, because all things work together for good but I accidentally deleted it. It was like 2, and I deleted one thinking one would remain, but both of them are deleted. And so I do not have the video that folks had already started watching. But I'm going to go back to Acts 12, which I had already read, and I'm going to read what it says. Yes, I'm going to read what it says. It says, now about that time, Herod stretched forth his hand to afflict certain of the called out ones, and he killed Jacob. The Hebrew, the Greeks called him James. So I know we are more accustomed with James, the brother of Yachaman, who is called John with the sword. And because he saw that this pleased the YAH, the slave master Bible would talk about Christians, but it's our Jews, but it's the YAH. Yes, because he saw that it pleased the YAH, he proceeded further to arrest Caiaphas also. This was during the days of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and commanded for 4 details of 4 soldiers, each to guard him, intending to bring him before the people after Passover. So Peter was kept in prison, but prayer was continually made to Yahuwah for him by the called out ones. And when Herod was about to bring him out, the same night, Caiaphas, we know him as Peter, was sleeping between 2 soldiers, bound with 2 chains, and guards at the door secured the prison. Then behold, the Malik of Yahuwah stood by him, and the light shined in the prison. He touched Caiaphas on the side, awakened him, and said, "Get up quickly." And the chains fell from his hand. The Malachim said to him, "Get dressed and put on your sandals." And he did so. Then he said to him, "Wrap your tallit around you and follow me." And when he had went out following him, Yet he was not aware that the Malik was actually being done, for he thought he was seeing a vision. When they had passed the first and second guard and came to the iron gate that led into the city, this swung open to them on its own, and they went out and continued down the street, and immediately the Malachim left. Then Caiaphas, which is called Peter, came to himself and said, Now I know for a certain that Yahweh has sent his Malach and have delivered me out of the hand of Herod and from all the people of Judah were expecting to do to me. I'm going to read it again. Then Peter came to himself and said, Now I know for a certain that Yahweh has sent his Malach and has delivered me out of the hands of Herod and from all that the people of Judah was expecting to do unto me. Yes, so Yah's people have been suffering at the hands of the Pharaohs and the Herods for centuries. And so what has happened to Grandmaster J 24 days ago is no different from what the Herods and the Pharaohs have been doing to Yah's Hebrew people. We as the black race do not know that we are Hebrew Israelites because our European slave masters have hidden our identity, stole our positions, hidden our religion, and has given us their own. So we are separated from our power. It is for that reason that we do not know who we are, because even the scriptures that are ours was taken out from the scriptures, and it is hidden by Rome. And so Yah has raised up a man, and he called himself Grandmaster J. And he has been standing up for our black people who have been killed by the police continually, who have not received any form of justice at all. And he has been teaching us from the original scriptures, teaching us that we have been brainwashed, we have been lied to. The stories of the Bible that are given to us are like a summary, are versions of the true Hebrew scriptures, because the Greeks have altered the stories and all of that. And so he has been teaching, and he has been standing up for our black people who have been killed in their very homes. Their very homes. And this system gives no justice at all. They won't arrest the officers. They won't do any such thing. And so I am saying to us, to all of us, that this is how we have been treated from we were in Egypt. We were in Egypt. And I'm going to look at Exodus, what the Pharaoh did to our ancestors then, because they were afraid of the Israelites. They were afraid of their strength. They were afraid of the way they multiply and increase. Because Yahuwah had promised Abraham that his seed would be as the sands of the sea, because Abraham had obeyed his voice and did not refrain from offering up Isaac as Yahuwah had commanded. And I'm going to look at this. Yes, he was about to slay his son Isaac. It says, then Abraham lifted up his eyes. Oh, before that, Yah called to Abraham, and he said, do not lay your hand on the young man, nor do anything to him, for I know that you reverence Yahuwah, seeing you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. Then Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and there behind him was a ram caught in the thicket by the horns. So Abraham went and took the ram and sacrificed it on the burnt offerings instead of his son. And Abraham called the name of the place Yahuwah Yireh, Yahuwah will provide. And as it is said to that city, on the mountain of Yahuwah it will be provided. Then the Malachim of Yahuwah called to Abraham the second time out of heaven, and said by myself, I have vowed and say, Yahuwah, because you have done this, and have not withheld your son, your only son, surely in blessing I will bless you, and in multiplying I will multiply your descendants as the stars of the sky and as the sands on the seashore. and your descendants shall possess the gates of their enemies. Through your seed, all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice. Yes, Abraham was promised a blessing because he obeyed the voice of YAH. Now, for us as Israelites who do not know ourselves, YAH had allowed us to be taken into. First of all, YAH had allowed Columbus to invade this place that was our place. It was where YAH's people was protected, but they turned to idols and they rebelled. And so the curse of slavery had been on them, our ancestors. Until today we are still suffering. But Yahuwah has promised to redeem us. He has promised to bless us regardless of our transgressions. He has caused us to be punished severely. But he promised that he will restore us, and he's in the process of doing this. And so he raised up Grandmaster J to teach us. And because the truth is so strong, this system has lied on him and has taken away his First and Second Amendment rights. And I'm going to tell us, I don't have much time as usual, but I'm going to see why Pharaoh had enslaved the Israelites back there in Egypt. And it gives the name of the sons of Jacob: Reuben, Simon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Benjamin, Dan, Nathani, God, etc., etc. And it says Jacob were 70 persons for Joseph in Egypt. Now Joseph and his brothers, all the generation died. But it says the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly, multiplied, and grew exceedingly mighty, and the land was full of them. And the king, who did not know Joseph, came to power in Egypt, and he said to his people, of the children of Israel are more numerous and powerful than we are. Come, let us deal shrewdly with them, and they will increase even more numerous. And if a war breaks out, then they may join our enemies and fight against us. And then they will leave this land. So they put taskmasters. So they put slave drivers over to oppress them. Then they forced labor, and they built Pithom and Ramesses as the store city of pharaohs. All right, so Israel was being enslaved from then. the Egyptians fear Israel from then. And so this is exactly what has happened. This system fear what Grandmaster Jay have been doing, and so they took away his amendment right. But I am saying that just as Yahuwah delivered Caiaphas or Peter out of prison, we are serving the same Elohim, and Yahuwah will see to it that Grandmaster Jay is freed and clear from these lying charges. And those who lied against him, those who trumped up the charges, will meet the wrath of YAH. And pertaining to YAH's Sabbath, before the time expire, I'm just going to read and let us know that YAH's Sabbath is not Saturday as we were taught by Rome and the society. Rome have lied to us. Rome have deceived the whole world. Revelation 12 verse 9 tells us that. Daniel 7 verse 25 also tells us that men shall think to change times and laws. And that's exactly what men have done. And I'm going to read pertaining to YAH's Sabbath, because YAH's Sabbath is a sign between him and his people Israel, and it is important that we know YAH's Sabbath, because the Sabbath is a sign between Yahuwah himself and his people Israel. And there's never enough time, but I'm just going to read it quickly here. It says, moreover, also I gave them my Sabbaths to be a sign between me and them, that they might know that I am Yahuwah that sanctifies them. But the house of Israel rebelled against me in the wilderness. They did not walk in my statutes, and they despised my judgments, which if any man does, he may live by them. And my Sabbaths they greatly polluted. Then I thought, I will pour out my fury upon them in the wilderness to consume them. But I acted for my name's sake, that my name should not be polluted among the heathen, in whose sight I brought them out. So I lifted up my hand, and vowing an oath to them in the wilderness, that I would not bring them into the land which I have given them, flowing with milk and honey, which is the glory of the land. For they despised my judgment, did not walk in my statutes, and pollute my Sabbaths, because their heart went after other gods Elohim. Nevertheless, my eyes spared them from destroying them. I did not make an end of them in the wilderness. But I said to their children, Yah is saying this to us today, in the wilderness, do not walk in the statutes of your fathers, nor observe their judgments, nor defile yourself with their God Elohim. I am Yahuwah your Elohim. Walk in my statutes and keep my judgments and do them, and make holy my Sabbaths, and they will be a sign between me and you. that you may know that I am Yahuwah your Father. And it says, nevertheless, the children of Israel rebelled. So it is our rebellion that caused us to be in this state. It's our rebellion why they are still shooting us down on the street. I can only implore us that we return to obedience, and Yah will defend Grandmaster Jay because he is his anointed servant, and he will restore Israel. I think it is was it Psalm 58 verse 3 tells us how the other nations are liars, and it's easy for them to lie. It says, the wicked are alienated from the womb. They go astray as soon as they are born, speaking lies. So the lie that caused them to arrest Grandmaster Jay because they fear truth. And there's nothing that this society, Rome, is afraid of more than the truth. While Rome, when the apostles were preaching Yahusha, they were imprisoned. They were killed. They were crucified. But as soon as they changed Yahusha's name and call him Jesus, all of the killing stopped, because they know that Yah was not being worshipped. Yah was not honored. And they have no problem when you are lying. But once you are speaking the truth, you are hunted down, put in prison, just like they did Peter, and just like Grandmaster Jay is suffering today. I'm going to read this that I had read before, because Yahuwah is going to redeem Israel. He's in the process of redeeming Israel already. Let me say, and it will come to pass that in that day, says Yahuwah of hosts, that I will break the yoke from off your neck and will burn